Hey y'all, I'm DJ. This is Rising Through Concrete, and I'm bringing y'all another episode today where we're addressing the question about hurt. What's our instinctive reaction when we're hurt? I know it's a bit much to ask, but somebody's got to do it, right? And while we may not have all the answers, the least we can do is be a bit transparent about how we're going to approach that today. And so, why not, right? Why not? So, the question of today in full is, what is your instinctive reaction when someone or something hurts you? Let that sink in. And as you're letting that sink in, drop it in the comments on all social platforms where Build, Rise, and Thrive is, or where you can find Rising Through Concrete. Let me know. Let me know what your reaction is anytime somebody hurts you or if something hurts you. I'm going to just jump right on into this one today. I know I got a bunch of things down in the description of this episode, but I'm sure we all have done it at one point in time. And we've all said it, right? I'm doing great. Everything's okay. But are you really, though? But are you really? Is everything really great? Is everything honestly okay? There's a difference between band-aiding and just putting a band-aid on the problems and your hurt and everything that we're going through, and honestly addressing it, really figuring out where it stems from and finding the best way to pull it back, open it up. And yes, it's going to be messy, and nobody expects for us to solve these problems in a day, but to really just take time and address it, right? Work through it, figure it out. And of course, it's not going to be you alone. And a lot of what you may be going through is not going to be, all your fault. It may not be the other person's fault. It could be, difference of perspective. It could be just life experiences. It could be a lot of it could just be a lot, right? It just could be packed. It doesn't matter what it is. Are you okay? Now, I just want to answer the question simply. What's the reaction? For me, it's silence. In this chapter of my life, I would honestly say it's silence. Before, it would have been anger because I was scared. It would have been me trying to place the blame on somebody else, on something else. I wanted to move the conversation as far away from me as possible. But I'm in a place in my life now where, and it wasn't easy to even get here, but I'm in a place now where, okay, I recognize that this isn't even about me. I could be in an argument with someone, and maybe at one point in the argument, sure, I may have done some really crappy things, and so may have the other person, right? But somewhere along the line in that conversation, it went left, and they're no longer arguing about me. They're no longer arguing about, whatever it was that we started this argument about. We're now talking about something completely different. And I recognize that the personal attacks on me have nothing to do with me. I recognize that, this person or whomever is now coming from a place of hurt. And even when I do it to other people, I have to check myself real quick. Or as soon as I recognize it, I gotta flip the script. I've been in those spaces. And I think being real about me being in those spaces and being vulnerable when I was just just harsh. I was violent, just upset, and I was just mad at the world. Like, it does play a role. Being young, like, yeah, on my mom's side, I have a sister. I didn't meet my sister, like, well, yeah, I met her, but like, you don't really build a relationship with her, right? I'm not really building a relationship with her until now as an adult. Didn't really have a relationship with her, and we'll get into that because I really hope to have her on the podcast, and you guys will really understand that. For those of you who know me, you may have heard pieces of us coming together and getting to figure things out, but to hear it, I'd really want you to hear her side of it. But I didn't really have a relationship with my sister, and when I did, it was really tense. And on my dad's side, I have siblings, right? I have an awesome older brother. I have an awesome sister. And I'm working through one more. I'm not really sure about it. I'm really going to stay neutral about it because I'm not really sure, right? However, these are different types of relationships where I've dealt with the reactions of other people. And over time, I recognized that the reactions were scared. They were hurt. It wasn't me specifically. Or hell, it may have been me. Hell, I don't know. But I'm there. And it takes a lot for me to really step outside of myself because I have to listen at some point and recognize it's not always for me to respond to. It's bigger than what's coming out of somebody's mouth. It's their journey getting to you, right? What is it they were trying to share with you that you're just not seeing, you're not hearing? And that silence is just such a large part of just being able to respond that it's important. I wasn't always quiet because I felt like I needed to be the loudest person in the room. I needed to be heard. And now I feel like I'm struggling because I'm too quiet. And honestly, it's a challenge for me. I'm not the same person. I'm not like quiet in a way where you would never find me, but like, it's like I don't need to be heard. I don't need to be heard. And sometimes I feel like I'm just not really all that interesting. But even now with my kids, the age differences are hilarious because I have teenagers and then I have adolescents, and I have the younger group, or the younger one. My husband and I are like, he's coming up and he's figuring himself out, and he's awesome in every facet, right? But we always have those challenge areas, and when he's hurt, his initial reaction was, I'm gonna just yell it out and tell everybody I'm hurt. And the more I've worked with him, and his dad has worked with him, and being in the social settings in school and things like that, he's learning how to articulate that so he can share, no, this is what I'm feeling, and this is why I feel this way. Now he doesn't always get the answers right, but it makes sense to him sometimes. We can have this conversation. It might not register all there at that time, but he can talk you through it, right? Then I have my teenagers, and it's fascinating to me listening to them rationalize what they thought they were at that age, because it's almost like with rose-colored glasses, I wasn't that bad, I wasn't this, I didn't do things like that, and so they don't understand that the grace of a parent having to mold, shape, and help guide that space along, and just provide that safe space to just get it out, make those mistakes so that they can figure out the best way forward, right? Because even sometimes they don't recognize the impact they have. It's an amazing power, but it's one that you don't really recognize that you have. And so sometimes they don't recognize that they hurt others in trying to assert themselves and be as dominant as they are. It's amazing to me. It's amazing to him too. I just need to throw that out there. Talking about this hurt, it's okay to not be okay. I know we hear it. There's so much progress being made talking about mental health. I would share both sides of this. If you need help, get help. It's okay. And if you feel the need to fabricate needing help, I would implore you to ask the question, what do you hope to get out of it in the long run? And follow that by, how long can I keep this up? I only bring this up because I've seen a couple videos on TikTok and I saw a couple on Instagram that really bothered me with people faking as though they had mental health. And they laughed about it afterward. So I'm not going to say you don't. I'm going to say I would recommend you go see a healthcare professional. But then at the same time, don't make fun of people who honestly are seeking help. And don't exploit others who are honestly searching for help. Your behavior is not helping. It's hurting. I can't even go any further than that. I don't even know where to go. I don't know where to go from that. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pause here. We're going to take a break for about a minute or so. And then we're going to wrap this up. We're going to talk about, how to top all these pretty loose ends. All right. I'll talk to y'all in a little bit. And we are back, and we're going to wrap this up. So, instinctive reaction. What's your instinctive reaction when something or someone hurts you? So, I know for me, I shared silence. And I'm asking that you guys share with me in the comments on all platforms and all those fun spaces. Let me know what your instinctive reaction is. Do you back off from people? Are you more active in your approach? Like, are you just gonna stand right there and let them know what it is, what it ain't? I'm curious to know. I don't know if I should put a poll out. Should I put a poll out? Let me know. We should really be more clear in communicating, not the I'm doing great and everything is okay, even when it's not. Hurt doesn't look good on us. We don't look good walking around wearing our hurt, wearing our pain. There's a difference to say that, what we've gone through is a badge of honor. But let's be honest, it's not the best feeling in the world. And yes, we can say those are our war wounds. We can say we've made it through. And no, it doesn't have to be the best feeling in the world, but let's be honest about how we got them. Let's be vulnerable when we need to be vulnerable. No, everybody don't need to know your business. No, your story is your own and you choose to share it with whom you choose to share it with. But at the end of the day, what's your instinctive reaction? When somebody hurts you, says something, does something to you in your personal space, like, how does it shake you? How does it rock, you, your circle, your friends, your family, just the whole thing? Like, what happened? How does it play out? How do you fix it? What's the first step to addressing that, right? So again, I did share with you guys that I got a couple of things, a couple of goodies down there in the description for this podcast, because I thought it was really important that I address this, especially in the month of, just breast cancer, domestic violence, especially domestic violence, not to undercut anybody who is a breast cancer survivor currently going on that journey. It is nothing to play with. Have a couple of members in my family as well who've been on that journey multiple times. Continue to fight. You guys are strong, always strong. But I also don't want to forget equally that this is Domestic Violence Month as well. So wear your purple. So out loud, wear your pink, wear your purple proudly, and let's bring more awareness to both topics. And let's see if we can eradicate both, honestly, breast cancer and domestic violence. So when we're talking about hurt, and I, not to say I don't want to go down the whole and discuss domestic violence, but I want to stay on topic of just how we react when something is hurting us. Share that pain. Tell your story if you need to whom you need to, in a safe space. I did share one of the channels I'm actually really fond of, and I've been following for a couple years now, and it's always really cool to share with clients that I work with one-on-one. That's called Psych to Go. That link is in the description. And then another resource that I'm sharing with you guys is a video that I think might be helpful. It might be a bit controversial, but I know it's a conversation starter, and so I want you guys to take a look at it. Let me know what you think. It's Middle Ground, done by Jubilee. And this topic specifically is going to talk through free-range parenting versus strict parenting. And so you're going to have parents on both sides of the aisle really just talking about different elements of parenting and why they allow their children the structure that they currently have with their child, right? Another resource that I'm also sharing with you guys is the Adverse Childhood Experiences Assessment. So I'm sharing two pieces with this right here. You guys are getting the assessment and you're getting the white paper. I know the white paper is a long read, but for those of you who just want something to read on a dreary afternoon, or you're just a light reader, right? Like myself, you don't mind sitting and reading, take some time and read it. It's a really good read. Really insightful. The one that I'm sharing is the one done by Chicago, is the one done in Chicago. And I think that you guys will find it really, really insightful. I'd love to start the conversation if you guys are interested. Again, you're getting four resources this week, and I'm super, super, super excited to share them with you all. So let me know if I need to post them up on social. I will, but they are in the description of the podcast and anywhere you guys can listen to your podcast. Of course, they are on all 9 major platforms. So don't forget, you can grab them there as well. And as always, continue to rise through concrete. And with Build, Rise, and Thrive, you're always going to build strong foundations, rise with intention, and thrive with courage and confidence. I will see you, great people, next week.